Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with And the Haze Will Take Us, Season 1, Episode 4. I'm so excited for this one. I enjoyed the last episode. I finally got to see who is hiding behind that intriguing mask. And let's be real, he's fine AF. And my friend Padre in the comment section told me that he is her favorite, so I'm intrigued to know. To be quite honest, I kind of understand the appeal because he actually shows that he has a few cents. He seems very charismatic, very sympathetic, and he doesn't want anyone to fear him, and he at least is calm and collected and not detached from his emotions and extremely impulsive like that other man whose name I forgot, but we will see. You will feel like this is just the beginning, but you have no idea what's in store for you. Episode 4, Hear Me. All right, I remember. Our sister appeared in our mirror. The night passed in sleepless, agonizing hours. Time moved excruciatingly slowly, but Simona's heart was beating fast. She had a dull headache and her whole body ached, as if she had been working hard instead of resting. But then that could hardly be called rest. Did we fall asleep after we saw our sister, or did we hallucinate us seeing our sister? Simona was in no hurry to get out of bed and didn't respond to the cautious but persistent knocking. Stop, is someone... Oh, I was about to say, don't tell me that she's knocking on the mirror. Otta, it's time to get up. Ugh. She stifled a groan and buried her face in the pillow. Simona was feeling dejected and irritable. She was trying not to think about what she had seen right before she going to bed. Doesn't that confirm my guess? Varia hasn't left? Simona stared at her sister's rumpled bed. It looked as if Varia had been sleeping in it all night and had only recently woken up, as if Simona only had to go downstairs to be greeted by her smile in one of her stories. Simona jumped to her feet and rushed to Varia's bed, smoothing the sheets and trying to erase all traces of her sister's presence. You're dead, you're gone. Honestly, this is actually, let's just say creepy. Because imagine... you just buried your sister, and then no matter what you try to do, your sister always shows up. It actually seems that you can't move on. That you're being so paranoid that no matter what happens in your life, now you immediately associate it with your sister leaving. Actually, if I would be around that person, I would feel some type of way about this. There was a lot of work awaiting her. Simona had to pull herself together and finally get dressed. I actually think it's ridiculous that we need to take care of our sister's job. One of your favorites. Those favorites, though, aren't really helping me, are they? No. We need to take care of this. Simona took another look at Varia's bed. She flung open the door and rushed out of her room. Simona ran downstairs and, gaining speed, collided with an obstacle that had suddenly appeared in front of her. Her forehead had slammed into someone's chest. She let out a confused groan and, rubbing her head, took a step back. Is it him? Ugh. After the last conversation we had with you, son of a bitch, I'm not really that enthusiastic to meet you. Besides, I just cried for a few hours, and I'm using the story now in order to not only regain my happiness, but also give happiness out to all of you, because I know you be waiting for this. So don't test me. I'm really fragile. Watch where you're going. What are you doing here? The restless night had caught up with her. Simona felt a flash of irritation along with an aching desire to take it out on Dragan. Oh, she has been crying the night too. Don't worry, I'm not here to see you. Then why the fuck are you still here? Get out of my face. My father must have called him. Well, fine, but take your business outside. This isn't any easier for my parents. Under some aspects, they have it even tougher than me. Simona's anger subsided and she calmed down. Nope. Not if I have something to say about this. But together with her rage, even the last of her energy seemed to have disappeared. Me. What should I say? Don't come here anymore. Then go. My father must be waiting for you. Amen, my good sis. He's waiting for you too. Why? I'll go see him later. When you leave? Me. Oh, you were right. You look terrible. Why do you care? Didn't you say that you only got me something because of my sister, that you don't actually care about me? Then stop asking questions. His gaze shifted from her face to her clothes. Did you sleep in your clothes? Simona ignored his words. Didn't we actually have the chance to, change our outfit? What does he mean with did we sleep in our clothes? She didn't care what she looked like. All her thoughts were occupied by her sister's ghost. Dragan seemed about to say something, but his face changed as he noticed Simona's sullen look. You're blocking my way. And now he's a bitch again. Nah, y'all, this is too much mood swings even for me. He is pregnant. Without waiting for her to move away, he grabbed her shoulders and pushed her aside. Oh, fuck no, you do not lay hands on me. Can we, kick him? Kick him in the dick, kick him in the ass, that hard that our shoe actually remains stuck in that small asshole he has. Simona felt like a sack of potatoes that had been tripped over and carelessly thrown into a corner. Honestly, I would feel like garbage, you actually push me aside like I'm nothing. She heard her father's voice coming from another room. Simona. She didn't sleep well. She needs rest. Simona pursed her lips as she heard once again the friendly tone Dragan never used with her. She quickly left the house before her parents could give her enough work to last her until sunset. She had something else to deal with. Tata's house was a simple one, with a sagging roof and a broken porch. Why does she even want to visit her? Didn't she say that she's her sister's friend and that's why we don't try to get close to her? She used to live there with her grandmother, but a few years earlier the woman died. Tata did all the housework now and took care of the house as best as she could, but time and poverty had taken their toll. Simona knocked only once, and the door immediately swung open. The uninvited guest froze with her fist in the air, taken aback by such speed. I'm sorry to intrude. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Hi. Simona stood there uncomfortably, trying to choose her words carefully, but Tata seemed to understand her without the need to speak. I want to talk about your sister. Why else would Simona come to visit her? Yes. Tata stepped forward and closed the door awkwardly so that Simona wouldn't look inside the house and said, Let's go to the yard. Is she embarrassed? Simona came from a wealthy family and had never known poverty, yet she intuitively understood Tata's motive. It was... Honestly, I would feel pride, I'm a strong bitch because of poverty. Even if it sounds bad. But if you have everything, you expect everything out of life. And if you have nothing, then you don't really have that high expectations. So everything you get is like a small bit of happiness. Tata didn't want anyone to see how she lived. She didn't want pity. Simona nodded understandingly. Come on. Tata sat down on a bench and patted the space next to her. Simona joined her. For a moment they didn't say anything, staring straight at each other. They felt awkward, hesitant. Where to begin? What was the other thinking about? How much to say and how much to leave out? Anyway, I want to... They both spoke at once and then immediately stopped, embarrassed. Go ahead. You first. You're the one who came to see me. All right. Simona sighed. I want to find out who killed Veria. I don't want to sit idly by and wait anymore. Tata got excited, turned to face Simona and took her hands in hers. Finally. Simona got embarrassed and Tata hurriedly let go. What made you change your mind? What should I say to her? Keep silent? Nah, tell her everything. Wait. Yes. Simona hesitated. It was too risky to tell Tata everything, but if she wanted to help, she needed to trust someone. Simona rolled up her sleeve and held out her hand for Tata to look at her wrist. When Veria died, her birthmarks changed. Did Anna's change too? Yes, I checked. Tata stared at Simona's hand thoughtfully. What does it mean? I thought you'd tell me. How should I know? You should go ask the high priestess. Simona pulled her sleeve back down. What if it's some kind of curse? What then? Even if it's a curse, they'll help you. What if they just banish me? You're too careful. And you're too careless. Damn. Tata pouted and turned away, not an offense, but just thinking. There's more. I saw Varia's soul in the mirror. You looked in the mirror? But why? I felt her presence. She's still here. She hasn't left. Tata smoothed down her hair nervously. No wonder she must have been killed by someone in the village. Veria wants us to find her murderer. Maybe then we'll find out what happened to your Mark. You've told Tata the whole truth and she appreciates it. There was another awkward pause. We have to start somewhere. Were there any marks on Veria's body? Blood? Bruises? No. Had there been any, everything would be much clearer. Did you notice anything strange about her before she died? She actually said her goodbyes as if she knew that she would die. Simona shook her head, but then seemed to remember something and frowned. What is it? She argued with DRAGAN at the Vernal Executive. Sorry. Are you sure? I only remember Vlas. I'm sure. You want me dead? Don't speak of what you don't know. Right, how could I forget? She started crying. Then you should talk to him first. Why me? You have known him since you were children. He just told me to go to hell. Like all of us. Not like that. He won't tell me anything. What's going on between you two? Why do you dislike each other so much? I don't think we dislike each other. I feel like he is too panicky and doesn't know how to deal with his feelings, so he insults us or has like mood swings because he doesn't know how to accept that we are capable to get under his skin, and he doesn't know if he likes that we're capable to get under his skin or not just yet. So it's kind of like he's projecting his uneasiness onto us because we're the reason he's feeling uneasy. Veria loved you both. Simona shrugged irritably, casting her eyes to the ground, and told her in detail. I don't know. You'd better ask him. But I'm asking you. Simona began biting the inside of her cheek, trying to collect her thoughts, but in the end she decided to tell Tata. We used to be friends, but after his mother left him, he changed. Vensenia left her family, abandoned them. DRAGAN had been very close to his mother. It was a blow for him. He was in tears. It was the first time he cried in front of us, and the only time I ever saw him cry. Oh, I spotted him from a distance, heard him sobbing, and ran to him. I spotted him and asked him why he was crying. At this point, hugged him. In my eyes, the best thing you can do is like hug him. Because in my eyes, hugs show what words can't. Like, they express so much. And if you feel so overwhelmed with your emotions, or you aren't really capable of actually expressing yourself, then actually having someone not ask questions and just be there for you and show that they have your back is like the best thing. DRAGAN stopped abruptly, then jumped to his feet and turned to me. DRAGAN, everything will be fine. You think so too? He clenched his fists until they trembled. You're just like her. What are you talking about? DRAGAN blushed. He wanted to say something, wanted it so bad that his chest heaved with big, heavy, nervous breaths. But he restrained himself, looked away and muttered, Never mind. I held out my hand to him. Let's go play. Do you want to? I didn't know how to calm him down. I was trying to act as if everything was normal, but that only seemed to make him angry. Yes, because you see, when we are in the first stage of the 5 stages of grief, we want the people that we care about to actually see, or more like acknowledge, that we are in pain. If you don't, then it's a sign in my eyes that you are trying to play me. Like, you should know me, so you should know when I'm acting differently than normally. You should be capable to see the difference. You should know when I'm in pain or not. Leave me alone. He pushed me and I fell. For a moment, fear and regret flashed in his eyes, but they quickly disappeared from his rage-twisted face. I'm sick of you. I would say because we remind him of his mother. He did just say you're just like her. Maybe we reminded him of his mother, maybe your pure-hearted nature, or us like trying to see like the good in everything. Dragan. Veria ran up to me and helped me up. Dragan, what are you doing? Veria fixed my hair just like her mother used to do. Simona, go home. I nodded, barely hearing what she was saying. Dragan, come on. Veria took his hand, but Dragan didn't move, still looking at me with a strange expression on his face. He regretted it the second he said it, but it's too late, bitch. Being too impulsive is not a good thing. Like, it's very dangerous if you're too impulsive. Like, you need to be capable to find, like, a safe space. Being impulsive means that you, in a moment of, like, heat, you will actually allow your feelings to dictate your actions. And logic has no place in the matter anymore. And that's dangerous. That makes you dangerous. Because that makes you unpredictable. You need to be capable to do both. Like, allow people to see that you feel some type of way about a situation, but also, like, be logical. Like, be intelligent about the entire thing. Veria dragged him away with her. They went down the river, and I fell back to the ground. Oh, I sat there at a distance, choking back my tears, and watched as they talked, as Dragan shared his secrets with her, forgotten, left out. We feel neglected by him. What happened to him? I don't know. Have you hated each other ever since? It's been building up slowly like a snowball. He was court with me, so I tried to avoid him. Then he grew distant, and I still hoped that our relationship would warm up. But as soon as we got even a little closer, Dragan made it clear that he didn't want that. I feel like we remind him of a painful time. Like, everyone has like this sense of darkness, and when someone reminds you of the reason that you feel sad in the first place, then you automatically project onto that person, even though they have nothing to do with this. And it's not a good thing, but it's sadly human. A lot of humans do it. They project. When did you learn to accept it? One day I heard something. That was a few months ago. I was walking home. A group of men were sitting at a table drinking. I slowed down when I heard my name and hid behind a tree. Dragan and Kalman were sitting together. Maybe it's time for me to find a wife. Otherwise all good ones will be taken. This is it for you. You have more than you could ever want. What are you talking about? You have 2 girls right next to you. It won't be long before they all want to get married. Someone isn't even seeing anyone. She must be saving herself for someone special, I guess. Ooh. Definitely not for you. Dragan took a long sip from his cup. I'm not interested in shepherd dresses. Ah! He said that with such disdain that I hung my head. Any woman would have felt hurt. No, not really. I mean, if you truly and very care in general, like about people's opinions, then of course it would hurt you. But in my eyes, this is about like being in a romantic relationship with someone. If I don't really have feelings for you, then I'm not hurt. If you say that you're not interested into women like me. But of course, maybe because of the insecurities, I talked about this in the first episode. Maybe she felt extremely insecure because, or her sister Veria is capable to like get anything she wants. Like everyone loves her, everyone treasures her, everyone would sacrifice everything for her, and we would feel like kind of cut off. Was I really that bad looking? What about Veria? You're nice to her. Shut up. They're twins, they're similar. There is nothing like a sister. His voice was full of irritation, as if Kamal didn't understood something obvious. You're right, Veria is cheerful, and there are a lot of men chasing her. Perhaps I should be the one chasing the shepherdess. She's a loner. It will be easy to charm her. Fuck no. Thank you. Like I'm the easy prey. Look at him. He ain't having it. Like, in general, if we listen to this, we could actually assume that he's, like, trying to take various defenses in front of this man. Where he's like, Varia's nothing like her sister. But actually, he's taking our defenses. He's like, Varia's nice and all, but she's nothing like us. / I named my character like my name. She's nothing like Simona. So, like, it's fine that she's cheerful, that she's beautiful. I can see that. I'm not blind, but she's still not her. Why are you looking so glum? Are you thinking about the shepherdess? Enough about this. And if you get mixed up with her, don't ever come near me again. Ooh! You hate her that much? Yes, you'd better find someone more interesting. No, that's him actually saying that we're off the market. That's him saying, back off, bitch. And because he can't admit to himself that he has feelings for us, or maybe he feels insecure about actually admitting to himself or to other people that he actually has like a weak spot for us, he's using like rage or more like insulting as a defense mechanism in order not to have to admit to himself that he has feelings for us. Like, people don't question it, and especially, like, in those dangerous movies like Mafia, etc., you, like, pretend like you don't truly care about someone so that the person that is dangerous doesn't take interest in the people that we want to protect. So we, like, talk down on them. We're like, oh, they're ridiculous. Like, you wouldn't want them. Trust me, they're boring. As to protect us. And that was him saying back off. And stop yapping anyway. You're annoying me. I hid in the shadows and changed my path to avoid meeting them. They spoke about me so despairingly. It weighed heavily on my soul. My naive and childish idea that men treat women with tenderness and respect was shattered by the cruel truth. Dragan wasn't my friend, and I couldn't stand Kaman. I decided I was doing everything right by avoiding contact with people like them, and yet Dragan had once been my family. Remain dear to me. I can't. What is that choice up there? Maybe it's like a friendship choice. No, you remain dear to me. You remembered your past with Dragan, including the fact that you used to be close. I mean, you would always have some sort of resentment towards that. But why did he dislike you, of all people? I don't know. Sometimes you don't need a reason to dislike a person, that's all. You know, I can stand Vlas either, but I'll talk to him for Veria's sake. Do you think he might be involved? I don't know, but it's worth talking to him, right? Simona hung her head, paralyzed by thoughts of her sister. Her life had lost its colors, and her path had tangled. She had to learn to live again, not because she didn't know how, but because she couldn't find a middle ground between her life and Varia's death. Sirin said that Veria would follow me around until the gods called her. Is it because I'm the only one who can help her? We're bound, we're sisters. I don't know. Is it because we're bound? Are we connected? Bound by blood and birthmarks? Tita ignored the question, clinging to a single word. Did you say Sirin? So you're afraid of her too? Don't get friendly with her, Simona. She's a witch. So what? So what? Is it not enough for you? I just don't see what the big deal is. Tata sighed, shook her head, and smiled suddenly. Do you like her that much? Like her? Yeah, she's beautiful and kind. I don't think she's a bitch, so she seems like a nice person. She's just detached. That's it. Like, I don't see the problem. Witches with an evil eye can't be nice. What else did she tell you? Nothing special. She has an evil eye. Don't let her drag you away like Veria.
If you cross her, she will look you in the eye and tell you that you will die soon. 3 days and you'll...
Tata drew a finger across her throat.
Go meet the gods.
Don't be ridiculous. Leaves rustled in the wind, carrying the sound of alarmed voices.
What's going on there?
Simona and Tata hurried over to the road to find out. What is all this ruckus? The villagers were rushing toward the forest. Simona saw a dozen more people in the distance. Shall we follow them?
Of course, let's hurry.
Tata hitched the hem of her dress above her knees and rushed off toward the others. Simona tried to keep up. What is all this?
Beauty and the Beast.
Hidden among the tall, slender pines stood the sacred oak, surrounded by a ring of mosses and ferns. This actually gives off the vibes of Percy Jackson, the second movie. Like the tree of Tala, or was it Talia? Like being Zeus' daughter, and like being the force field of the camp. Its bark, cracked and covered with lenches, resembled ancient runes. The roots intertwined like veins bursting out of the ground. Thick, twisting branches stretched toward the sky, trying to catch the rare glimpses of the sun. Once evergreen, the oak leaves were yellow, withered. Vancinia was leaning against the trunk and screaming, doubled over as if trying to squeeze every last sound of her body.
Look at it. It's been shedding its leaves for days now. It won't be long before it dies.
There was only one oak tree left in the village, ancient and strong. It was the last thread keeping the settlement from the mice and from the icy wet touch of the fog. And now it was dying, and hope was dying with it. Would they suffer the same fate as the tree? Lost in darkness, they would sink into oblivion.
Where's the girl now, the oak tree?
She looked from one person to the other, glaring at them reproachfully. A hermit, Vancinia hadn't left her refuge for a long time, but the villagers had seen too much of her over the past few days.
Behold, it's time for a change.
There's enough. DRAGAN pushed through the crowd, making his way to his mother, the one that left him. Ooh! When he reached her, he grabbed her hand and was about to lead her away when the elder arrived, accompanied by the priestess.
Wait, she's right. What happens if the oak tree dies? Won't the Haze take us?
The villagers were worried. A wave of anxious whispers rolled through the crowd. Another thing to reflect on. But why did Varia's death of all things set these events in motion? Or maybe her demise is just one of the links in this chain. The elder hurried to reassure everyone, shooting a warning glance at the priestess.
Let's not panic. We will still have seeds. We'll try to plant a new oak tree. Not a single oak tree has taken root for many years. We tried so many times. Don't despair. The priests will help us sacrifice roosters. We need the favor of the gods.
The elder glanced at the priestess, and she echoed his words obediently.
Be on your guard. Don't part with amulets. Visit the shrines and trust the priests, and most importantly, the gods. We've been through worse.
A woman stepped out from the crowd, holding out a trembling finger.
It's that girl, the rage. She cursed us, she brought a trouble upon us.
Distraught, the others joined in the chorus of shouts.
Drive away, you cursed vermin. That witch should be forbidden to come so close to the sacred tree. It's her fault it died.
Sirin, who had blended into the crowd, was now the center of attention. She was surrounded by scared, furious people who were pointing their fingers at her, spewing curses, spitting and humiliating her. The woman stood still without defending herself, stoically enduring the blows. She looked up and met another pair of eyes, the only ones that didn't show fear. Tata squeezed Simona's hand nervously and whispered in her ear,
Don't look her in the eye.
Calm down. But people's anger, like an avalanche rolling down a mountainside, was difficult to stop. Sirin hurried away, without looking back, ignoring the insult thrown at her. Poor her. Even though the words landed on her turned back, they pierced her heart, hit her throat, and stung her eyes. That. Why are they being so cruel? I I can't follow her because I'm technically trying to get with her brother, and I'm not like gonna start something like Damon and Stefan Salvatore. Don't follow her. Besides, if I'm vulnerable, I need to be alone for a few seconds. Then you can come. The elder struck to the ground with his staff, calling for silence.
Let's honor Brenham and give him strength so that he can help us grow a new tree.
The villagers' indignation began to subside. The elder told everyone to go home. Venciana held out her hands toward the dispersing people.
Don't be deceived by the silence. The leaves are falling and the haze is coming. This isn't good. This isn't good.
Stop it.
Tata gently touched Simona's shoulder. She whispered,
His mother knows something. Why don't you ask her about Veria?
Simona sighed. And you talked to Vlas.
I will remember what I promised.
Tata gave her a small push.
Come on.
Simona approached Vencia, looking awkwardly back at Tata for support. Tata silently mouthed,
You can do this. For Veria.
Like, Dragan can leave. Like, I can talk to her when he's, gone. Dragan squeezed his mother's arm as if he was afraid that she would rush after the villagers, trying to convince them of her delusions.
Why did you come back after all these years, when they began to forget about you?
One day you'll understand.
Never.
Woohoo!
I've been trying for too long.
Dragan stopped mid-sentence.
What do you want?
Nothing from you. He stared behind Simona to the spot. His furious tone hit her in the chest, knocking out all the air and thoughts. Simona bit down on her lip until it bled. Oh, Tata, I came at the wrong time. Vencia smiled affectionately. Wrinkles appeared at the corner of her eyes. She used to smile a lot, but so much time had passed since then that those steep lines were a reminder of the past. She was called a harlot, a fool, a mad woman. For what reason or for whose sake had she decided to leave her husband and son and retire to a shabby house on the outskirts of the village? A lover? Or maybe the elder had raised his hands against her. There were a lot of rumors, but she never denied anything. Her own son's hatred was more eloquent than any speculation.
Simona, you're all grown up, my girl. Do you remember me?
Yes, but I've forgotten a great deal.
I understand.
She glanced at her son, who continued glaring at Simona, his eyes burning with rage. What you want, bitch? Get out the way! Boom, bitch, get out the way! You heard that song?
I'll come to see you later. Could you give us a moment?
He spoke slowly, enunciating each word carefully. He forced a smile, but it looked like a scowl. Oh, no. Now I'm petrified, like you haven't done it before. All right, but I wanted to talk to Vencia.
Why?
None of your business.
They want to talk about your sister.
Vencia looked at Dragan again. She raised her affectionate, apologetic eyes to him. Then she returned her attention to Simona.
I can't tell you anything, I'm sorry. I will only say one thing. Everything is predestined. Everything repeats. Everything will happen again. Dragan doesn't understand, but...
That's enough. It's time for you to go.
Simona was taken aback when Dragan's fingers wrapped around her arm and led her away. I'm sorry? What are you doing? Let me go. This man literally is handsy. Can we smack him? Like, literally, this isn't the first time that he touched us without our permission. Like, this is not even like a romantic or like hot makeout session where it's normal that you're like trying to hold on to your partner because you want to feel them as close as possible. This has nothing to do with like sex or makeout sessions or being affectionate. This is him actually just needing to actually execute his power over us. I hate him. Did I read this or not? I'm sorry. He pushed Simona away and ruffled his hair nervously. Are you fucking serious?
This is your way for revenge.
Are you serious? What does it have to do with you? What are you talking about?
A woman.
He can't even say her name out loud.
She's sick.
You're sick.
She came out of hiding to attract attention on you. You threw poison meat to a hungry wolf.
I didn't even have a chance to ask her anything. Dragan chuckled.
Don't go near her. Don't talk to her.
And who are you to tell me who I can and can't talk to? But she knows something. Maybe she can help me find Veria's killer.
She doesn't know anything.
And how do you know? This doesn't concern you. Varia shouldn't have to suffer because you hate your mother. Dragan clenched his jaw. Simona realized she had said something awful. Why? She didn't have time to lighten the conversation, and she didn't even know if she wanted to as Dragan exploded.
Varia's gone. I understand you feel so worthless that you don't know how to live without her, but you don't need to play with other people's delusions to ease your pain.
Are you dumb? Are you delusional? What is wrong with this man? Like, somehow, like, this actually shows that we are the only one having this man on a chokehold, because the second he sees us, he can't contain rage. And when you truly feel like this sort of rage, yet you still feel the need to actually kind of show like intimacy in like touching someone or like whatever it is, then that means that that person that you're angry with is capable to get under your skin. This is like a very good way. They can't behave normally when you're around. They immediately react completely different. And it's not just us saying this. A lot of people said that he immediately reacts differently when we're around. They just misinterpret it as hatred. Dragan always knew how to hurt her. He didn't need to raise his voice or lay a hand on her. He could whisper just one word and Simona's heart would start bleeding. That also shows that we truly care about him, and I feel bad for her. It would bleed until she convinced herself that she didn't care about other people's opinions. When he realized that Simona had been silent for too long, Dragan finally looked into her eyes. I don't need you to look into my eyes. No, no, no. No. And no. In my eyes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving this out to all of you. Being impulsive, like, you can't do anything about it. It happens. But you need to know when to shut the fuck up. Okay? And that has nothing to do with a personality trait. You know something hurts me. And even if you can't stand me or whatever, at least have some decency. Someone I love died, and you are telling me I have no fucking idea how to live without her. My life is like useless without her being there around me, like moving it up a little, like helping me get loose or whatever. And you have the fucking audacity then to apologize. Stop saying you're sorry. I hate those like short apologies where they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Yes, you did, because that's what you said. When you're impulsive, you just immediately say out loud what you feel on the inside. You don't have that filter that actually makes you see when in a situation it's best if you just shut up. Apparently, he don't have that. You don't say I'm sorry when you're impulsive, because you're not. You just say what you immediately felt on the inside. And you like just say something because you want to hurt the person in front of you, because you are hurting just as much on the inside. So you're trying to inflict the same pain on the person in front of you. You don't come up here, actually tell me that my life is worthless without my sister, and then you have the fucking audacity to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, you definitely mean to. Stop saying you're sorry when you're not. Because you're not sorry. That was you actually feeling that we were like trying to get revenge on you for, I don't know, whatever reason, because you know that you hurt her feelings. So you thought us talking to your mom is kind of like us taking revenge on you, and you wanted to hurt us. What should I say? You're the worthless one here. You're talking about yourself, not me. Ooh! No, you're talking about yourself, not me. You're only mad at yourself. Simona shoved Dragan in the chest and walked past him.
Wait.
No. But Simona didn't even look back.
Damn it.
Yeah, damn it. You stay right where you are. Like in the... I don't know, in the fields. Like in the shit where your ugly ass belongs. Someone like shit on him, please. Tata returned to the village in search of Las. She was quite nervous, but she tried not to show it. She nodded and smiled at people she met, asking how they were doing and if they were well. She tried to be polite and friendly. Tata found Vlad drunk, lying behind someone's barn. She kicked him to wake up, but immediately looked around to make sure no one had noticed.
He deserved it.
Oh, he did.
You. What do we want?
What did you do after the Vernele Engsignox?
What? Get out of here, no one's girl. You don't have enough friends, so you've come to me.
Did you see Very after the dance?
Vlas hiccuped, rolled onto the side and threw an empty windskin at Tata. Bitch, are you for real?
Why would I want to see her? Curse.
Tata grabbed his shirt and shook him angrily.
Bite your tongue. Don't you dare say that, you drunkard.
That though, he's drunk again. Vlas laughed, his breath reeking of alcohol. Oh.
Poor no one's girl, you're alone again. No one cares about you. Who's going to protect you now?
Me. Tata pushed him away roughly. Drunk Vlas hit the wall of the house and slumped to the ground laughing. He cried out as she went away, still laughing.
No one's girl, no one wants you.
Everyone in this story projecting their insecurities. Look at the way he hurt Tata. That no-good son of a bitch. Can we kill him? Simona, yes. Simona was almost running, scratches her bare hands on branches and bushes. She arrived at the hut cemetery and sat down opposite the place where Veriana rested. Worthless? Oh, DRAGAN had just said out loud what was always on her mind. Yeah, that she's worthless. Like that no one wants her. That's like the insecurity that she has been carrying around. Like everyone's saying that her sister is so good and that she is not worth of anything. And the person that she actually, perhaps, I feel like subconsciously maybe she had a crush on DRAGAN when she was little. That's why she desired like to see this man happy and she tried to cheer him up. But he didn't know how to show his feelings, just like he isn't capable to show them now. And actually hearing that the person that she liked talked about her like that, and that he didn't even seem to like show that he even cared, like even as a family friend, hurt her. Yes, sometimes she really considered herself worthless. A fool who had trouble connecting with people and tripped over her own feet. She could only stare in awe as her sister easily did everything that was so hard for her. Varia had been her guiding star and her dawn after sunset. She had taken on everything that Simona could nor didn't want to do. She had allowed Simona to remain strange and free. She had given her the opportunity to be herself. And now that Vera was gone, Simona convinced herself that she was seeing her sister's ghost, was glad she was being haunted. At this point, I feel like the most painful option is the first one. When you are glad to see a ghost, then that means that you actually got trapped in your delusion, y'all. And that's not good. And really, like, honestly, sometimes I feel like I should do, like, some live YouTube, like, some live stream. And you guys can, like, ask me questions about things. Because I feel like a lot of you actually like my opinion or, like, my view of things. So, like, if some of you actually want me to do that, like, you can tell me in the comments. Here, again, the second one, that's when you are trapped in your delusion. Like, when you actually become the mental. Psycho, that word rings a bell for all of you. The first one is when you actually feel that lonely, that desperate, you arrive that much at the bottom, and you literally are completely drained of all strength, that you are hallucinating or trying to pretend that you're with someone in order to ignore the solitude that you feel in the inside. That's the most painful one, and I need to go with that one. What if she was losing her mind? What did I say? That is the most painful one, so I had to go with that one. Simona held her legs against her body and hid her face on her knees. I feel bad for her. Maybe I'm worthless because I feel sorry for myself. But you don't. It's more like because people keep on hanging on to your insecurities. She doesn't seem to have like time to actually heal from all that negativity. So it's actually having a bigger toll on her. But I won't do that anymore. I can't live without her. I can't be myself without her. Another argument with DRAGAN had brought her to the edge, and now that she had fallen, Simona suddenly felt wings sprouting from her back. She couldn't fly yet, but now that she had wings, she could learn. Honestly, that's one reason why I love, like, opposites attract sort of thing. When you are that weak, like, especially when you have, like, this relationship where you keep on, like, bickering with the person in front of you, they are your biggest support system. In my eyes, at least, because if you are at your lowest and they kind of like provoke you and you want to prove to everyone that you are worthy, when that person provokes you and they actually hit your feelings, when you are a fighter and a survivor on the inside, them provoking you and them kind of saying out loud what you fear the most, like you saying things that you don't want to be true, but you fear they are, you feel even more the reason to fight and to show that person in front of you that they are wrong. They motivate you the most. Simona raised her head. Look at this. Look at her grave. Am I imagining things? She got to her feet and stared intently at the boarded-up door of her sister's hut. Huh? Did I miss something? What? Is she alive? A banging noise came from the other side of the door. Something was trying to get out? Huh? Simona backed away, her lips whispered anxiously. We will go down these roads, through the deep forest, through the swamps. The door shook and groaned under a hail of blows. We will go from mountain to the underworld's gates. The sky already grey and dull suddenly clouded over. Someone's claws stretched against the wood, trying to break free. The forest grew cold, freezing air rose from the damp ground, piercing her with its icy breast needles. Into deep cellars behind the dark forest. Y'all, I'm about to lose it. Simona kept whispering as if the incantation could help her get rid of the infernal creature that had suddenly woken up on the other side of the door. It couldn't be Varia, right? Well, the fuck? What is going on, y'all? Huh? Simona kept backing away until she felt someone's warmth behind her, living energy bursting into the kingdom of death. She screamed and turned around, fell to the ground, right at the feet of the high priestess. What's going on, my dear? The priestess bent down and helped Simona up. What scared you? Didn't you hear? What are you talking about? Nothing. Did that really happen? Or do I see and hear things that aren't there? The priestess looked at Varia's hut, covered in moss. It now seemed frozen in time, ready to stand there for centuries, in the rain and snow, away from sunlight. A coffin, a house, a fortress. The huts protected the dead from evil spirits and protected the living from the dead, but what it was like inside, in the dark, with no windows and doors. How are you, sister? Are you cold? The priestess looked at Simona, still gripped by fear. She was shivering, holding her shoulders and casting anxious glances at Varia's hut. Let's go sometimes. This place makes me feel uneasy. Simona could hardly contain her relief. Yes, let's get out of here. They returned to the forest and walked toward the village. Simona felt awkward around the priestess. She still inspired fear in Simona, but awe as well, as she was someone who could penetrate into other dimensions. As if reading her mind, the priestess said, You know, there are people who are born with the unique gift of being able to see things that are hidden from others. Like the priests? That's right. You could become my grandson's student. But why should I? Honestly, why should I? That is born of ignorance. When you understand the source of your visions, they will cease to frighten you. You will control them, not the other way around. Simona thought about it. If I become a priestess, I will be able to help my sister and free her and myself from the burden of the past. I will be able to find my way relying only on myself, without worrying about Varia or anyone else. Have you found out what happened to my sister? The priestess sighed. The villagers are worried. They all suspect each other. The elder is being cautious. He doesn't want his neighbors to accuse each other of murder. Does he think it was done by a human? Yes, he's thinking people what they were doing and where they were when Varia was attacked. What do you think? The priestess stopped her, ran her hand through the air as if trying to grab the floating cloud of fog, and then walked on.
I think we shouldn't turn a blind eye to the truth just because it scares us. They came out of the forest. The houses appeared like an engraving, barely visible between the scattering of mist. Here is Ozar. Ozar was standing at a crossroad talking animatedly with Kalman. He was smiling broadly, responding to his jokes. The two people I didn't want to see. Simona caught herself thinking that she hadn't seen the magus smile before, or maybe she just hadn't noticed. The priestess walked toward her grandson and Simona had to follow her. Great. With each step she felt her cheeks grow hotter, and that heat seemed to spread from her face to her shoulders and chest. Oza watched him approaching without taking his eyes off her. Should I apologize for eavesdropping? Alright, he heard. Nada's biting her lip. The space. No, it's stupid. I'll pretend that nothing happened.
Priestess?
Good afternoon. Ozar, you're familiar with Varia's sister, aren't you? It's the fact that they don't even use our name, just Varia's sister, because our sister was so well known, everyone knows her. No one knows our name, even though it's like a small village, like a small cottage. I hate this.
We haven't actually had a chance to talk properly.
Why is he looking at me like that? Simona tried to look anywhere but into his eyes.
Someone alright?
Kamal smiled at his charming, friendly smile. Me. Some just call me the Shebdress. That's the kind of pettiness I condone. Do it. That. Y'all. Hashtag if looks could kill. Kalman opened his mouth in surprise and looked fearfully at the priestess, then at the magus. Noticing his bewilderment, Oza laughed. Simona wants to become your student. I want to become your student? It was her idea. Me.
My student.
We'll discuss it later. Oza turned his gaze back to Simona, that time more focused. Simona, will you come by tomorrow? Alright. Simona said goodbye and wanted to leave, but as she passed Oza, he blocked her way and whispered in her ear so that no one would hear her.
Aren't you afraid to come visit me after what you overheard?
Yeah. She didn't turn her head and walked on, showing no reaction to the mag's words. Without turning around, she hurried home, but she could feel Oza's eyes boring into her back. This man is giving me the fucking creeps, y'all. I am so sorry for those that actually like Ozar, but he's kind of giving me like a very weird feeling. Loneliness. Simona hadn't even known the word before. Now it tightened around her neck like a noosey every time she was alone in her room. When the sky turned black, dragging her soul into hopeless gloom. Worthless? No, she wasn't worthless. Simona pulled the blanket to her neck and closed her eyes. I will become a priestess, solve the mystery of my sister's death, and find my way. Meanwhile, Dragan was looking for peace at the bottom of a cup. Volot and Sirin were thinking, Shit! Now I need to decide. Dragan or Volot and Sirin? At this point, I've seen Dragan and he made his point that he still don't know how to deal with human emotions. So I would have to go with Volot. Volot and Sirin were thinking. Let's give Dragan a little bit of punishment for actually daring to be such a little motherfucking bitch. Like, the way he behaving, the way he's straining himself and his last remaining brain cell every single time he's around us. No wonder that only shit comes out of his mouth. Volod was sitting on the porch. Y'all, I sometimes crack myself up. The sleeves of his shirt were rolled up to his elbows, and his hands were covered in blood and fur. Like, are we seeing this from their point of view, or are we actually visiting them? He was skinning a hare, holding it over a small bucket. He stopped from time to time, looking up at the starry sky. The night air was cold but reinvigorating. He loved evenings like that, when no one was scurrying around casting timid glances at his house. I feel so bad for him. Like, imagine you have a pure-hearted soul, but you need to do like this sort of work in order like to help your tribe survive. And because this job
is dangerous and you actually need to have a very hard stomach, or more like strong stomach, in order to be capable to like end lives of animals. Everyone looks at you as if you are like, I don't know, a bad person because you're doing this. Like, I have to. When he didn't have to go into the forest or wander through the fog, being careful not to go too far. The door opened and Sirin quietly stepped out onto the porch almost without making a sound. She sat down on the step next to Volot.
Are you going into the haze again tomorrow?
Yes.
Why?
Don't ask those questions.
Volot always spoke to her coldly and abruptly, but Sirin wasn't hurt by his tone.
That woman.
I forbid you to speak of her.
You forbid me?
You won't talk about her.
Why not?
Sirin chuckled.
All right, as you wish.
She fixed her eyes on the grey mist in the distance, dense, trembling as if alive. Volot followed her gaze. He put the carcass in the bucket and wiped his hands on a towel. Are they talking about us? He hated the fog, the nest of shadows and devoured destinies, where he could still hear the echoes of other people's suffering. Dang. Like, this is actually like The Fall. Like, from Shadows and Bones. The scars on Volot's body burned, responding to his inner rage. His large hands and rough palms were destined to chop and crush bones, shed blood, and look monsters in the eyes. 18 years earlier, he had looked at the world beyond and was never going to be able to unsee it. How old is he? He had looked without blinking and never closed his eyes. It was time to go to bed, but he didn't want to. He knew he was going to have nightmares again, but his nightmares had now taken on a face. Oh, God.
Will you find Various killer?
Are you worried about her soul?
Ooh, we can choose if she decides to go love Liana. I'm worried about her sister. Come on. Sirin is worried about you. Like, I sometimes happen to find this so funny, like, when you are worried about someone and they immediately put this into, like, the romantic category. I'm a human being. I have feelings. Volot put the bucket aside and stretched out his legs. He looked huge next to Sirin, almost too large for an ordinary man, but Sirin looked at him calmly, even defiantly. To a casual observer, it might have looked as if Sirin was confident in her power over him. I'm sorry, I think this is funny. Like, are we actually gonna pull some Damon and Stefan here? But at the same time, that illusory power was kindly lent to her by someone who could take it away at any moment.
Did you feel anything next to her body? Did you sense the evil spirits?
No.
So it was done by a human.
I don't know that either.
Oh, he's so cute. I feel bad for him, but I'm sorry. If this Haze is so dangerous, why the fuck is he going in there and coming out alive? Apparently people die while going into that.
I see.
Various death was probably going to remain another mystery in that remote village. Volot remembered Simona's face. It was almost expressionless. He stopped us from going in. Maybe because he knew how dangerous it is. Simona didn't cry, scream, curse, or smile, trying to convince herself that there was nothing sad about death. She seemed to be somewhere far away. Perhaps she hadn't yet accepted her loss, or maybe didn't care about it at all.
You thought that Various spirit is still here?
I'm not sure, but the candles went out when Simona entered.
Stay away from her.
Ooh!
Maybe I will, but can you do the same?
No, he can't. He can't. But now the interesting thing here is, why does he like us? Volot frowned. Of course, he had realized that his thoughts were now occupied by that woman. Why, though? Why? Because we're the only ones that actually were that magnified, like that magically attracted to the haze and were willing to go in while other people are like running away from it. She had turned out to be the key that opened one of the 1,000 doors leading to the bottom of the fiery river. The girl needs to be protected just as the whole village. A girl needs to be protected. No. I want to be greedy. I want to keep all these finest men to myself. He don't care about people. He don't care about anyone. Like, he cares about me. That girl needs protection. I need protection. Like, he's there to be my protective shield. Why do I need to share him?
From who? From me.
What? She didn't frown. She understood everything. I understand too, but I do not want to get into that. He actually thinks he's a threat to us because of what he does. VOLOT doesn't want to hurt you. Yeah. He sees himself as other people portray him. They portray him as like this menace because he actually kills animals in order to help the tribe survive. Because he's capable to go into the haze and come back without like dying or suffering like severe consequences.
So it is fine if Simona falls victim to the wrath of the villagers. If they deem her cursed, then...
VOLOT got up.
It's gotten late. We'd better not make the evil spirits thirsty. Let's go inside.
Siren looked at the hateful village once again. Perhaps Simona was going to cause the death of all the villagers stuck on the outskirt. Damn, Siren would have liked that. Meanwhile... Oh, we can't do both? No. I could buy gems, but I'm not gonna watch what this bitch is doing. I'm sorry, like, if someone put his choice, then do it, but I'm gonna be an ignorant little bitch because this man does not deserve me actually being curious about what this man is doing. But not the DRAGAN was looking for peace at the bottom of a cup. Them actually saying that his bitch-ass attitude actually made him decide to drown his stupidity in alcohol. That's your fault, bitch. It was almost dawn, but Simona kept tossing around in bed, still lost in the illusions of sleep. Path of high highs. Ooh. She was sitting on the riverbank, dipping her toes into the water and then lifting them above the surface, letting the light breeze brush away the droplets.
Simona.
Varia was running toward her across the field, her hair streaming behind her and her basket swinging from side to side. Are you done? Varia hugged her from behind and they almost fell into the river. Simona straightened up with a laugh and helped her sister sit down without falling head first.
I'm so tired. I've been to so many houses delivering things. My feet are killing me. But I met Tata and we had a nice chat. How did you spend your time?
I've been shearing sheep all day.
We're going to dance tonight. Do you want to come with us?
No, Varia hugged her, interrupting her mid-sentence.
Yes, I know what you'll say. I'm not going to force you to come. But it would be great if you loved people the same way you loved animals. Or the same way I love you.
Oh,
I want you to make friends with Tata and not be angry with DRAGAN.
DRAGAN is pulling his own leg. Like, don't be coming at me with DRAGAN. Like, this bitch said enough today.
I want you to always be there for me. Then I would be even happier.
But we are there for you. I have the feeling that she feels the need to always have us by her side, or else she has the feeling we're gonna run away. I'm always there for you.
What if we're separated?
Varia's voice became lower and lost its colors. She looked at her birthmark.
What if our bond is broken?
What if our bond is broken? What if our bond is broken? Yes, I was about to say maybe this is like a metaphor. Because the second that Varia died, our birthmark changed. And it got like this, I don't know. Now it looks like a moon shape. Like for those that actually watched Teen Wolf, like Mountain Ash in season 2, where Styles is like trying to place Mountain Ash around this like huge party in order like to keep the werewolves inside / Jackson inside the house, or more like inside the party. In order for people to actually get through to that veil, as in the supernatural beings, through that veil, Styles needed to break the circle. Now, we had a full circle on our arm. After his sister died, it became a moon.
What if her bond is broken? Her voice resounded in Simona's head, echoing erratically over and over again, and then faded away. Simona opened her eyes. She inhaled sharply, as if suffocating. Her heart was pounding wildly. Her skin crawled at the feeling that she was being watched. Bad dreams again. Simona put her feet on the floor and looked around anxiously. Birds were singing outside the window, and the sun was shining, but the room felt dark and cold, as if deep underground. Simona couldn't get rid of the feeling that Veria was there in the bedroom. Her icy breath crept under Simona's clothes and froze her cheeks. Her eyes bored into Simona's back, as if forcing her to pay attention to her sister. I'm losing my mind. Simona ran her fingers through her hair and tugged at it, as if she wanted to peel off all her worries along with her scalp. And then her eyes fell on Veria's bed. Is the puppet there again? Huh? Every evening Simona made her sister's bed, but every morning it was crumbled again. Y'all, this would creep me the fuck out. Like, get out of here. What is this? I'm gonna stop this story. What is this? The pillow still bore the impression of her head. The sheet was wrinkled and the blanket was half hanging off the side. Like, imagine our mother or Dragan like sleeping in the bed next to us and waking up before we do in order for us not to know that he's there. Veria was dead, but she still slept in her bed every night. What? You're actually trying to make me believe that? You actually want me to believe that she is dead and somehow she's leaving marks everywhere she goes? Like, when you are dead, you are a soul. You're a ghost. You can't touch things in the human realm. You're trying to tell me she can lay in her bed like that's what she's doing with her time in the afterlife, sleeping in her bed? I can't. Well, anyway, I think I've said enough this episode. I hope you enjoyed this with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and if you want me to continue the next episode of And the Haze Will Come, or the other story. I forgot the name again. The Thunder Saga. Bye.